Good evening, everybody. My name is Doc Severson. Tonight we're going to be going over how to grow a small account with options, the top 10 skills. Again, my name is Doc Severson. I'm with TheoTrade. And before we get started here, I would like to remind you of our standard risk disclosure, which essentially says that if you don't treat this like a business, this will be the most expensive hobby that you can imagine undertaking. I will not be recommending anything tonight for buying nor selling. This is for information only to help you. Okay? So again, copyright disclaimer, please do not distribute in whole or in part anything that you hear tonight without prior written permission of TheoTrade LLC. There's our phone number. There's our support email address. Now, who we are, if you don't know about TheoTrade yet, where have you been? We are a trading education firm. We've been in play now for the last 2 years. We're based out of Scottsdale, Arizona. We specialize in education for options, futures, stocks, and we have been started and run by veteran professional traders who are first and foremost experienced trading educators. We are not a registered advisory service, nor are we a brokerage firm. We are here to help you mitigate risks in the market and to help you navigate this difficult market to trade, right? So some of you may know who I am. Some of you may not know of me. Husband, father of 3, still working on my student pilot's license. It's difficult to do in Ohio during the winter to fly VFR. Dare I say impossible. I am a reformed engineer, used to be one. But I've reformed myself. I quit my 6-figure telecom job to trade full-time. I am that guy, right? So my specialty is options, technical analysis, and NLP, which stands for neuro-linguistic programming. So I've been with TheoTrade now for the past 2 years, and it's been a good time. Trading education innovator. So I like to do things a little bit differently. I think you'll see that tonight. I like to illustrate things in a very simple manner, nice Fisher Price bold primary colors so that the things are easy to understand. I have been trading for 21 years, and I would say these are some of the most interesting 21 years that you could possibly trade through. So I've also been using thinkorswim for the past 12 years, although we won't be using that tonight. And if you don't know about this, I did write a book which is available on Amazon called Hacking the Holy Grail. Check it out. There it is. That's what it looks like. Okay, a little bit of housekeeping before we get off and running here tonight. Yes, you will get a recording of tonight's session. Honestly, you will. I'm going to move through this material very, very quickly. So even though there's a lot of slides, a lot of visuals tonight, we're going to get you in on time, right? We're going to get you watching the women's downhill. Please hold your questions until the end of the session. If I see the chat scroll working around up there, I have to ignore it because I've learned the hard way. If we want to get out of here on time, I have to hold questions till the end of the session. So we do have staff online. Jeff is out there. JP's out there. If you guys have admin questions, go ahead and fire them in. If you want to know about something that we offer in terms of our offerings, anything like that, go ahead and offer them. And fire them in to us tonight. Now, the workbook, I've been chatting about the workbook here before we got started. There's a little icon. You'll see the little red icon, which is a PDF. It's under the handouts on your little toolbar for GoToWebinar. So if you don't have it, go ahead and download it. You can pull it up on a different screen, maybe a tablet or something like that if you have time. And we'll be starting here in about 2 minutes. You can print it off and follow along, fill in the blanks. And I think it really helps retention. I think you'll get a lot more out of tonight if you fill in the blanks tonight and work with me. Okay? This is kind of what it looks like here. It says just fill in the blanks, make notes to yourself, look at the action items at the bottom as well too. These are things that I feel very, very strongly about that I want to highlight to you guys that I think that everybody should be doing. Okay, some learning objectives. What are we going to cover tonight? Why trading a smaller account offers unique challenges, like you don't already know that, right? The one rule never to forget when trading a small account. how to find your one thing. What on earth is that, and how do you find it? Creating your trading system, how to make it yours. The right types of strategies for a small account. Believe it or not, it makes a big difference. Advanced money management concepts that you're unlikely to hear elsewhere. Waiting on your setup, how not to quit. I think it's very important that you learn how not to quit. And then at the end, we'll go over next steps. Okay? So what am I here to talk about? I don't care who you are. Everyone has a small account. It might be your primary account. Might be an account you've already blown up. Everybody has a small account. So what we're here to talk about tonight is how can we create a comprehensive system to grow any small account with options. Okay, so what is a small account? It varies, right? It varies based on your definition. So for some people, it might be a $500 account. Some people, it might be a $25,000 account because of the way that they're trading, because of the pattern day trader rule, right? So it depends on what your situation is, your circumstances, everything like that. So there's no one real answer. For our purposes today, just to give you a number to work around, I would say that anything less than $10,000 is going to be a little bit of a challenge to trade with options. So at TheoTrade, we're not going to be sitting here. I'm not going to be positioning myself as a guru. I'm not going to be giving you any hype. That's not who we are. Nothing is guaranteed with financial markets. I'm not going to guarantee you anything other than saying it takes hard work to overcome who you are. I've always had to work very hard to earn and keep profits myself. So today I'm going to share with you the top 10 skills that I think are necessary to grow a small account into a larger one, how to bigger your account. So I may bring up some points that challenge you. I'm not here to offend anybody. Please keep an open mind. Understand that I'm here to help, not point fingers. We're all human. We all have the same challenges. Let's see what we can do to get past that. Okay? So I've warned you this before. I'll warn you again. I have a lot of material tonight. I'm going to fly through this. I'm going to move along very briskly. I will not be able to answer questions as I go through it. Please save those for the very end. I do tend to use a lot of analogies and pictures, so that hopefully will speak thousands of words, just being able to put a picture up there. Okay, I want to get you to the women's downhill race tonight, which is tonight, but later on. So let's work together and let's finish on time. Now, I like to give visual anchors here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this stairway of skills here. Stairway of skills, and we're going to be climbing this just to give you a visual anchor as you go through this. So you'll know that by the time I'm starting to present this material, we're getting ready to close up, right? So just to give you a visual anchor, follow the bouncing ball, or in this case, climbing the stairway of skills. So first off is our first stairway, which is called let it go. Let it go. So what do I mean by this letting it go? I need you guys to let it go. When you're trading a small account, you are flying right over the tops of the trees, aren't you? You're flying right over the tops of the trees with this small account. You know it. The problem is if you dip a wing, in you go. There's no margin for error. This is not my plane, by the way. So I've read many times that blowing up an account is a rite of passage. It might be true. I've qualified this for a number of times, right? So I've got that merit badge. What I found out is that I was fighting in those early days was I couldn't afford to take a loss with those accounts. Right? You guys have done this before. Well, I have a small account, so therefore I can't afford to take a loss. Because you guys ask me questions, hey Doc, what strategy can I trade with this really super small account so that I'm not going to take any losses? Well, the problem is you're trading with scared capital. That's what I was trading with, scared capital. It was not risk capital. There's a big difference. I could not afford to lose that money, so I ended up losing. That's what you do. If you're trading with capital that you care about too much, then it will be very difficult to take the right setups to give you maximum edge. You're going to look for setups that feel comfortable and safe to you. You're not going to take the right setups. This is so important. So if you look for a trade to feel good, it's probably the wrong one. So to illustrate this point, again, here's the analogies. You might have heard of the HBO series Band of Brothers. There's one scene in episode 3 that perfectly illustrates this point. This is Private Blythe. Albert Blythe confesses to his lieutenant that he was scared. He was hiding in a ditch rather than join the battle. So this awesome guy, Lieutenant Speirs, and says, well, you know why you hid in that ditch, Blythe? You hid in that ditch because you think there's still hope. But Blythe, the only hope that you have is to accept the fact that you're already dead. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner that you'll be able to function as a soldier supposed to function. Without mercy, without compassion, without remorse. Whoa. Okay, great pep talk there, but that is an excellent analogy for trading a small account. That's exactly what you have to do. I need you to trade without mercy, without compassion, without remorse. That's how you have to do it with a small account. Don't hide in a ditch. Don't wait for the setups to feel good before you take them. You will be taking the wrong setup, my friends. So only when you are truly trading risk capital, capital that you've set aside and said, this is risk capital, I don't care about it, will you be able to effectively let go and become an effective trader. Stair number 2, narrow your focus. Narrow your focus. Too many of us are trying to be a jack of all trades, and we end up being a master of none. We're a jack of all trades and a master of none. We read about a strategy, sign up for a program, trade it once or twice, promptly lose money. So we all run to the next big thing strategy, like the running of the bulls in Pamplona. And this cycle repeats. This is what I see from traders all the time. All the time. You guys will buy a program, trade it once or twice, and then you don't make any money on it the first couple of times. So you see this bright, shiny penny over here. You see another program for sale over there. You guys will go thundering over here to sign up for this one, thinking that this one's going to be different. You trade it once or twice and find out, whoa, this is too much work, or I'm not making anything money. Oh, look at this one over here. So you go thundering over here to sign up for this program. The same thing happens. You guys end up being a jack of all trades and a master of none. This is what we all do. We're looking for something that's easy. We want to get rich quick. It doesn't work that way. You don't get any edge like this. We end up learning about how to enter a lot of different strategies, but we never learn the expertise necessary to close the deal. Yeah, Rick, you got that right. We don't learn how to close the deal and make profits. So I want you guys to speed up by slowing down. Consider becoming an expert in one stock only, trading one strategy. Yes, you heard me right. If you want your sports car fixed, do you drop it off at Walmart or do you take it to an expert? Seriously. And no offense to anybody that works at Walmart here at the auto department. Let me give you another analogy here. Let's consider the case of Beatrix Kiddo, a woman with a score to settle, but in dire need of a really, really good sword. So she goes out on Amazon and searches for katana. And what pops up number 1 on the Amazon list is the Undead Apocalypse Katana for $25.95. Do you think that's going to fit the bill for what she needs to do? It's rated 3.5 stars. It's got 94 customer reviews. Somebody has bought it, but maybe not the same people, not the same customers, right? Maybe she needs to hire the best in the world, Hattori Hanzo. Okay? That's what she needed. Problem solved. This is what I want you guys to do. I want you to get to be the best in the world at something. But you don't do that by getting a $26 katana off of Amazon. You focus on one thing and become the best at it. So if you want to trade against the best in the world, narrow your focus to one thing only. Guess what, guys? There's no minor league that's out there. There's no Pee-wee league or development league that you can go trade in. From day one, you're going up against the best in the world. You need to take this seriously like that. Stop being a jack of all trades and a master of none. Focus on one thing. Become the Hattori Hanzo of your chosen strategy. You'd be amazed at how much difference it makes when you cut aside all of the fat and you focus on one thing and one thing only. And you get really good at that in a very short period of time. And I bet if you think about it, you can think of some people that have excelled by specializing in one thing only. One thing only. Very, very powerful concept. Not only for trading, but everything else in life. Let's keep climbing the stairs, shall we? Create a system. Stair number 3, creating a system. Think about what we're doing for a second. We're trying to create a machine, aren't we? A machine. And I admit it, I'm an engineer. This is what I used to do, and I build things. So I think of a trading system like this. I start out with some capital. By the way, that's risk capital, yes? We start out with some risk capital. We stick it into this big box that is our trading system. And what we hope to do is transfer that through some type of process to bigger that capital. So we start in with $2 and we finish with $3. That's our finishing capital. But we're not done yet, are we? Because we have to apply feedback and adjustments to the system. This is a trading system. Buying a trading strategy off the internet does not constitute running a trading system. It's not the same thing. Just because you buy somebody's program doesn't mean that you're running a trading system. At most, it's an experiment. You'll abandon it at the first loss and move on to the next new thing. You guys will go through the same thing again. Boom, 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 trades, more and more trades. Let's try this one over here. Let's try this new thing. Jack of all trades, master of none. Here we go again, right? We all do the same thing. Unless you want to continue funding others' accounts, running a trading system starts with a plan. What's a plan? Well, a trading system starts with actually a business plan. Why are you in business to trade? Are you going to run this like a business, or are you going to run this like a hobby like I talked about before? And for each strategy that you're going to trade, what is your trading plan behind it? What's your entry rules? What's your exit rules? What are you doing? Or are you making decisions by the hip? You know, you're just doing them on the fly. So trading without a plan is just entertainment. Give that money to charity instead, please, or spend $26 on that sword if you don't have a plan. If you want to turn your small account into a larger account, then build a trading system by defining your business and trading plans. We continue climbing the stairs. Now we're going up to number 4. We're making progress here, guys. You're working with me. You guys are doing a great job. We're going to be trading the path of least resistance. Trading the path of least resistance. What is that? Well, if you're a skier, you're going downhill, right? Something that I see all the time is traders using yesterday's strategies on today's markets. Yesterday's strategies on today's markets. So strategies that work well in these type of markets where we're in quiet and trending, generally, low volatility uptrends until recently, until early February, this was this market, right? Same thing. But those strategies do not work well in these markets in corrective. When you go into corrective and corrective periods like this, they don't work the same. So understanding what the difference is. So for all of you Iron Condor traders that were trading the Iron Condor in January and now are licking their wounds, this is for you. So if you focus on a small subset of stocks or ETFs, then you will soon become an expert in their character. Just like in the same way that a parent has sense changes in their children without the kids actually saying anything. So learn to use the correct strategies to match the character that the current market is offering. And those that take it to the next level understand what character is usually next in line. This is what I'm talking about here, is that like quiet and trending, market character almost always, in fact, without exception, gives way to sideways and volatile. And so you're prepared for the next step at the next level. This is a next level trader, second order skill. Understanding the character of the underlying stock is even more important with a small account. You have to be more nimble. You have to be more adaptive. And we continue climbing the stairway. Trading the right option strategies is obviously next. After we've determined the path of least resistance, we want to trade the right option strategies, don't we? So depending on your experience with options, there are hundreds of ways to design a trade. You guys all know this. I don't want to put all the different types of strategies out there, but you guys know all the colorful names that are out there for all the different strategies that mean all these different things, right? So we can set up high probability trades or low probability. Now, high probability, generally speaking, is above 67%. Low probability is usually 50% or lower. So just to give ourselves a framework for defining this, oftentimes most of the high probability trades are, generally like greater than 80 to 90%. This is usually how we think of them. Those way out of the money iron condors that you win 9 times in a row, and then number 10 is a killer. So we just talked about the need to match the current character of the market that we're trading to the correct approach for that character. But with small accounts, we need to take it one more step. We do need to turn it up to 11. And good luck if you can find this amplifier that's out there. I would love to find one that went up to Nigel's 11, right? So you need to get to the point where your trade will not risk more than you seek to earn. Notice in this graph here, we're actually looking at an analyzer, and what we seek to earn is up here, and this is what we're risking, and the two are equidistant, right? We're not risking more than we seek to earn. So you will sacrifice probability of success by doing this. So we all tend to fall in love with probability of success. If an 80% probability of success is good, then 90% has to be even better. And even better than that is 95% probability of success. But pretty soon you get involved with picking up nickels in front of the steamroller. And it just doesn't make any sense. So your confidence goes up because you're winning a lot of trades until you get an early February move, and all of a sudden you get run over like a Mack truck. Okay? You've got to find that balance. I prefer that you trade a better reward to risk with a small account. So no one trade will take you out of the game if you use the correct money management. But if you have a poorly managed high probability trade, it will almost certainly take you out of the game. Almost certainly take you out of the game. In addition, you'll find that profits come faster when you play a higher reward to risk setup. It seems like it's backwards, right? It seems like it would be better to play a high probability trade, but actually what you'll find is that playing a little bit of close quarters battle with the price pays a lot of dividends because it's a more responsive trade. It's easier to get out with your fair share versus a high probability trade where you feel like you have a bullseye on your forehead waiting for that thing to burn theta. We continue climbing the stairway of skills here. We are now talking about understanding your edge. Understanding your edge. Thanks for working with me, guys. You're doing great. So let's understand what our edge is here. Quick, what is your trading edge? I bet if we had a elevator conversation, if I met you in an elevator and I asked you, hey, good to meet you. What's your trading edge? What do you do? Most people would be tongue-tied. They wouldn't know how to answer that in 30 seconds or less. So most people don't know what their edge is. So most traders that I work with just assume that any strategy that they learn about has an edge because that's the way that they were sold. They're a little surprised to learn that edge varies with market character, it varies with underlying stock, time, volatility skew, dozens of other factors that are out there affecting your edge all the time. And it's difficult to stay on top of them, isn't it? Okay. And that's why it helps. I'll go back to the one thing. Remember, it helps if you can start out, cast a wide net, and then narrow that down, funnel it down so you're only dealing with a very small number of variables. So you're not searching through 8,000 stocks and trying to find that needle in a haystack. Edge is difficult to find if you spread it too thin. So let's analogize this. Let's think pitcher versus batter in the good old game of baseball, which is soon to be happening, right? Isn't pitchers and catchers reporting soon? So if the batter can't hit a curveball, you better know that that scouting report is out there on that batter. And then that pitcher has an edge. He's going to do nothing but throw him breaking ball and junk. So if he knows that piece of information and he's able to pitch it without hanging the thing over the middle of the plate, and it looks like he just did throw a curveball right there, then he has an edge, right? So think about you versus the market. The good news here is that many of the best option strategies have the same edge for smaller accounts as they do for larger accounts. A lot of times you do lose some edge when you go to a smaller account versus larger account. Specifically with a way that you can you're not going to be able to hedge a trade. You're not going to be able to delta hedge a trade with a small account the same way you can with a large account, but you're going to keep those positions small so that it doesn't matter. So options edge comes in many different ways. Time value decay, you guys are all used to this. This edge is the same here. It still favors the seller versus the buyer in the right conditions. So we sell whenever we have the right setup and conditions. Shifts in implied volatility will give us an edge here. Volatility is mean reverting. So we have to know what is high and likely to compress versus low and likely to expand, like we saw recently. Understanding the path of least resistance, as we mentioned before, allows us to set up the best trade whether or not we're in expansion or contraction. Guys, there is no such thing as oversold and overbought. Maybe oversold a little bit, but there's no overbought, oversold in my world. There's only range expansion, range contraction. Range expansion, range contraction. That's all that markets do. They breathe and then they consolidate. They expand and then they consolidate. So you must have a defined edge before you put risk capital into play for your account. Don't just trade to trade. Make sure you have an idea of what your edge is. If you're not sure if you have an edge or not, find out on paper first. It doesn't cost anything. So we continue climbing the stairway of skills. Let's talk about tools for a minute. What tools are we going to use? One mistake that small account traders make is to skimp on their trading tools. Skimping on their trading tools. Going cheap. Look, I get it. You have a small account. You don't want to spend any money. You don't want to risk any more than you have to. You say, well, my account is only this big, so therefore I need to make a commensurate investment, proportional commensurate investment into my tools. I would say bunk, balderdash. This is called the scarcity mindset. The subconscious mind ensures that whatever you focus on, you will get. So if you focus on scarcity, guess what you'll get? Having a scarcity mindset will ensure that your account will stay exactly where it is, since this is what you're focusing on. Isn't that funny how that works out? The opposite of this is the abundance mindset. Guess what? Those with the abundance mindset also get exactly what they want and what they deserve. So if you want to pursue edge in the markets, your tools need to be just as good as those of professionals. Don't skimp on your tools. Fortunately, there's good news for this because just about every decent broker these days has got a great set of tools. So let's get into some of these tools. Tools number one, you must engage your subconscious mind to change the belief system for success. If you don't believe that you can succeed, then you will get exactly what you want. So if you enter a trade and say, well, here goes nothing, I know I'm going to lose this one again, I might as well not even trade because I know I'm going to lose this one. Guess what? You'll get exactly what you think you will. So if you want to know more about this, check the book. Check the book. There it is. Tool number 2, get the best broker you can find. Again, the good news here is that there's just a few of them left. There's just a few of them left, and they're all, these days, they're all pretty darn good. You know, some are better than others. You know, we'll talk about those at the end of today's presentation. So don't go cheap on commissions. Don't judge your broker based on the commissions that they publish, which are usually not true anyway because they don't factor in data feeds. They don't factor in the number of options you can display in the chain without upgrading. Just crazy stuff like that. So don't go cheap on commissions if it means that you sacrifice analysis. Okay, tool number 3, if you're going to use charts, use a platform that you enjoy. It's a very personal decision to do this, right? I'm not going to say that one is better than another. Use ones that speak to you by how they present the information. Not all charts are the same, my friends. So this is an example where your business plan comes into play. If you're going to run trading like a business, you should have a budget for tools and education. You should have a budget for tools and education. So we continue climbing the stairway of skills, guys. We're getting close. I'm going to talk about hyper-growth money management now. Hyper-growth money management. Most students that I work with do not use money management to grow their accounts. Usually it's the opposite of that. I usually see traders create positions of random contract size, usually something like, well, I always trade 10 contracts, regardless of the size of their account. There's no sense or no sensitivity to account size with that. Position size should be set by the risk, not by how much you hope to earn. Set it by the risk, not how much you hope to earn. A good rule of thumb is to limit the risk on any one position to no more than 1 to 2% of your account size. At the most, keep those position sizes small, guys. Don't risk any more than 1 to 2% of your account for that. So I get a lot of guff when I say that because it's like that people start doing the math and start saying, well, if my position is only going to risk 1 to 2%, then how am I ever going to get anywhere with a small account? I'm saying per position, earn the right to trade bigger position size, right? Earn the right to do that. So this is a good start, but as you start to win trades and grow your account, you need to recalculate that position size. You may have earned the right to increase your contract size by this point. So this is called fixed fractional money management, and this is what leads to exponential growth that so few people actually take advantage of. This is kind of the holy grail for small accounts, but so few people actually get to the point where you can use this. So some new techniques are being discovered in the field of money management. The current state of the art that I know of at this point is called fixed ratio money management, which offers faster growth and less drawdown risk. It's a little bit complicated. It's a little bit complicated to learn, but it's well within the scope of anybody that's listening tonight. So don't make the classic mistake of trying to grow your small account by using the hardest strategies to win. The hardest strategy to win in my book is trading long call options. Oh, I want to use a long call option as a proxy for the long stock, and so I'm just going to buy, one call option for every 100 shares of leverage, right? You guys all know better than that, right? I hope so. That's the hardest strategy to win with. It's the easiest one to place. So we continue climbing the stairway of skills here. We're getting close. There we go. Now we're talking about the patient sniper. Patient sniper. What is that? Well, think about this guy dressed up in a ghillie suit, sitting out in a field somewhere for hours on end, unable to move a muscle in his body. Think about the patience that requires to serve that function, right? So most of us are actually in a hell of a hurry to make our small account larger, aren't we? We can't wait. We want to get that thing as big as possible as soon as we can. So somewhere along the way, we've been taught that activity equates to progress. So it's kind of like the guy that's out in the middle of a field trying to saw down a tree, and you could tell that his blade is completely dull, but he won't stop to sharpen the saw because he says to you, man, I can't stop to talk. I'm too busy. So we're taught this concept that activity equates to progress. The very act of placing a trade means that you've evaluated current price and time and volatility conditions as having an edge, right? Is that true? Or are you just bored? You want to get a trade on. We want that activity. We want that adrenaline shot, don't we? We like that fact of trading instead of being that patient sniper. Now think about deer hunters. Deer hunters sit up in a tree stand all day long. They sit there and freeze. They wait for the one shot. Why do they do that? Why do they torture themselves sitting up in a tree stand all day instead of walking through the woods looking for prey? Well, they know that if they just go charging through the woods, running around the place looking for deer, they're not going to find any. They're going to hear them a mile away. They're just going to run away well in advance. And it's the same thing, guys. If you just charge around the market looking for opportunities, which is, well, I see most of you guys doing it, guess what? You're only going to be trading the ones that feel good, which are exactly the ones that you should be avoiding in the first place. So patience to wait on the right setup comes from your experience and your mastery of the one setup. Remember that, the one thing that I told you about? One strategy, one stock. See the common theme? So attaining mastery of your one thing will give you the patience to wait on a setup that meets all of your criteria instead of chasing trades, which is how most of us do it. And finally, we get to the last level here. Thanks for your patience, guys. We climb that stairway of skills. You can see how they all build on each other, right? You can see that letting it go, right, to begin with, understanding risk capital, narrowing your focus to one thing, creating a system, trading the path of least resistance, trading the right option strategies, and then understanding our edge while we're doing it, using the best tools, using state-of-the-art money management, being patient to wait for our trade and not just blazing away. And that leads to the last thing, which is never to ring the bell. Never to ring the bell. Now, what does that mean? Some of you may recognize this picture. This is the Navy SEALs training facility in Coronado, California. Notice the row of helmets, which is right there. Here's the row of helmets, and there's the bell. Wherever these guys train, there's always a bell. There's always a bell. Let me go back to the previous slide. There's always a bell. Wherever they train, there's always a bell. At any time, the candidates can end the daily abuse of training. You guys have read about how tough the training is. I mean, you're treated like a subhuman for literally months at a time before you graduate. And then there's more of it after that. You could stop all that whenever you want to. Just walk up, put your helmet down, ring the bell. You're done. You're going to get some warm food, nice cup of coffee, and then you're going to be sent away back to a normal life. But that forever terminates their potential of being a Navy SEAL. Forever. You'll never get a second shot. You'll never get a second shot. You're done. So if you ring the bell in this business, you end up working with this guy right there. There he is. There he is. That's the guy that's going to start the conversation by telling you how great his research department is. He'll start talking to you about life insurance and portfolio diversity and Lipper averages and things like that. And he'll talk to you about stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. How awesome. Remember that guy? You don't want to ever see that guy again, do you? So you need to make up your mind that you will never ever ring the bell. So what happens if you fail? Guess what? You will. Then you move on. You keep on going. You keep pushing the stone up the hill every single day. Failure on an individual trade means I have the opportunity to learn something. It means that it's showing me the way. So you're not going to learn anything from a winning trade, guys. Treat a failed trade as a gift and learn everything possible from it. What you mostly learn is how you responded to the opportunity. You're learning more about yourself than you are about the market. And one thing I will always tell you guys is that you're not really trading versus the market, you're trading versus yourself. So never, never ring the bell. Myself, only when I focused my efforts. I never got close to ringing the bell, but I got really, really frustrated because I was doing a lot of trades. I knew a lot of stuff. I knew a lot of things about mostly how to enter trades. But once I finally said, enough of this nonsense, I'm going to focus on one thing. Only when I focus my efforts on one stock, one strategy, and put that plan into motion to become a master of that one. And all of this sort of came together at that same time. Only then did I become consistently profitable. So what's next for you guys? What is next for you guys tonight? I've just shared a ton of guidance with you guys. You can use these points with any size. I hope you've got a chance to fill in the blanks on your workbook because I think you actually learned quite a bit tonight by doing that. So good for you to stick with me here tonight. So you can use these points with any size account. You can start producing better results starting tomorrow. Hopefully you guys are going to, start to take some of this advice to heart. Maybe find out what your one thing really is. There is no one thing. It all comes down to you. What makes sense to you? What gives you that rage to master? What gives you that passion to want to master that thing? So I'll take some questions here in just a minute from you guys. So I want to talk to you about the small account workshop. So if those of you that want to take this to the next step, if you're not ready to ring the bell yet, and if you want to take your skills up to the next notch, climbing that stairway of skills, I'd like you to join my Grow a Small Account workshop. So here's what we'll cover in the small account workshop. Number one, to let it go, how to create a safe zone for your capital, how to create risk capital. Nobody ever tells you how to create risk capital. I will show you how to do that. I will show you how to earn the right to trade. Number two, narrow your focus. How you find your trade. I'll show you how to find your trade and show you how to specialize. Number three, how to create a system. You'd figure an engineer would show you how to create a system, right? I'll show you how to create a business and trading plans to create a comprehensive system. Number four, I'll show you how to trade in the path of least resistance. Understand the different states of the market character. Nobody ever talks about this stuff before. I can't believe that this isn't one of the first things that people tell you about. Understand the character of the market, trade along with the character of the market. Number five, trading the right option strategies. If you come to TheoTrade, we're going to show you the right option strategies. We've got tons of them, the right ones. The strategies that you need to learn to trade a small options account. Scans and chart studies included, right? We're not going to just talk about this. We're going to show you how to do it. Number six, understand your edge. How to utilize the three edges of time decay, volatility, trend, energies. Everybody at TheoTrade is an expert at showing you how to build edge on options. Number seven, tools. What tools do you need today to harness the right belief system and trade options effectively? I will show you that. Number eight, this is really cool. Hyper-growth money management. If you've never heard of this before, I will show you exactly how to do this, and you will be amazed at how cool this is. All right, so I'll show you how to create hyper-growth with fixed fractional and fixed ratio money management. So I'll walk you through it and I'll give you sample spreadsheets that you can create on your own. Number nine, harnessing patience. I'll show you how to teach yourself the patience to wait on the right setups. And then finally, I'll show you how not to ring the bell, how not to ring the bell. So here's the Grow a Small Account class. I am the instructor for the class. There's over 3 hours of live content in the class. Slides, replay videos, spreadsheets, watch lists, studies, all the tools broken down into 3 videos. You can listen to them as often as you want. They are available right now. You don't have to wait. You can get them right now. But first, there's the bonuses. And I personally think that we went a little overboard on the bonuses, but there's nothing too good for you guys. So in addition to the live content, the slides, the thinkorswim study, the watch list, the examples, the archive of the session, plus the ability to watch the archive video as much as you want, you're also going to receive the following bonuses. Only today, though. This is only going to be available today. Number 1, Options 101 Basics and Beyond. This is a Don Kaufman classic. It's a 5-part series by the often never imitated, often replicated Don Kaufman. It goes well beyond what others teach to beginners, and even expert traders learn something from the Options 101. Retail value $150. Bonus number 2, Options 201, series by Don Kaufman once again. So learn vertical and calendar spreads the right way, not the wrong way. These are the right way to trade with a small account. Retail value $150. Bonus number 3, Options 301, Volatility and Expected Move Essentials. The expected move is so important, especially with a small account. Again, taught by Don Kaufman. Learn the secrets of implied volatility, expected move. Understand how the Chicago traders do it. Number 4, Fractal Energy Trading. This is one of my keystone classes. This is a 4-part series. Understand how to read price action, understand how to read expansion and contraction. 5 hours of this, fractal energy price action, as well as the study, the scans, everything. How to understand how to apply energy towards your charting. No more of this overbought and oversold stuff. No more of this stochastics and MACDs, guys. This is a different market. You have to trade it differently, making price a focus for what we do. Okay, retail value $150. We're still going through the bonuses here. Top 10 skills for trading a small account. This is a companion for this. This is information above and beyond the workshop. Bonus number 6. This is one I did last year. Plan or get slaughtered. If you're trying to struggling, trying to learn how to build a business for your trading, take this class. Plan or get slaughtered. It's a 3-hour class that I've done. How to tune a strategy, how to obtain the right mindset for success, how to plan. Retail value $150. Fractal energy study that we have. Again, this is a bonus with a package. And here's the really great one here. Believe it or not, we are going to give you 1 month of TheoTrade with tonight's purchase. 1 month of TheoTrade. This is where you get to hang out in the chat room every day for 7 hours with us. Well, actually, it's open 24 hours a day. There's still people in there 24 hours a day. But we're in there teaching live 6+ hours a day. We're doing live teaching. I'm on there 1 or 2 hours a day, every day. Okay, so 1 month of TheoTrade, daily coaching sessions, live trading chat room, instructor and coaching archives. Okay, the Start Here section. So you can start there with the 22 videos to get started the right way. So if you're fairly new, you can get started the right way. If you need studies, if you need indicators, if you need scans, we've got everything in there. We don't believe in charging people for these tools. So you get a whole month of that, right? So what's the cost behind this workshop? So let's add up Options 101, Options 201, Options 301, Fractal Energy Trading, Top 10 Small Account, Plan or Get Slaughtered, Fractal Energy Chop Index, 1 month of TheoTrade access, plus the TheoTrade discounted TDA rate for commissions, because once you're a customer of ours, you can get the preferred rate. So that's a total of $1,000 in bonuses, not including the small account workshop class that I'm teaching, right? So all of these bonuses, if you sign up for this today for one-time total, tonight for $199. One-time purchase, you get 30 days of TheoTrade. And where I want you to go is to theotrade.com/grow. So go there tonight. Okay, so some of the questions that we've already gotten from people about this: is this a trial subscription? Is there going to be additional billing at some point in the in other words, do I pay for it now and all of a sudden I get all these charges showing up later on? No, we don't do that to you guys. This is not a trial. You have unlimited access to the on-demand recording. It's a one-time $199 fee. If you want to stick around longer than that, we'd certainly welcome you aboard with TheoTrade, but there's no obligation to go past the 1 month. So kick the tires. Join TheoTrade, see what we do for 1 month for $199. You cannot lose, especially with 22 hours of recorded information for this package. Some other people have written in saying, I don't have any experience with options. Will I be able to follow along? Well, yeah, everything that I talk about for a small account class is also applicable regardless of what style you trade. It's particularly good with options just because options are great for small accounts, but you can use this with anything that you do. Can I use this with my 401k? Can I use this with my IRA? Yes. All of these techniques work with any type of account. Or other people have written in, I work full-time, I can't trade during the day. Can I use this program? Yes. Yes, it'll help you set up a better, more professional approach regardless of your exact trading method. It doesn't really matter what your method is. You have to have a plan for that, though, everything that I talked about. So some people say, well, hey, I don't have a small account. I have a larger account, so I don't need this program. Well, I think a lot of the things that I've talked about tonight are really irrespective of the size of your account. It really doesn't matter. I think anybody would benefit from understanding better money management. Anybody would benefit from understanding a better sense of being patient, waiting for one thing, having better edge. I mean, wouldn't these be things that would be necessary regardless of the size of account? I believe so. I just think they're particularly necessary. These are the top 10 skills you've got to have if you're flying over the tops of the trees. I don't use thinkorswim. Can the system still help me? We really teach this program independent from any specific broker because, again, what we do is really irrespective of, it doesn't matter what platform that you're actually using. So I do teach this material old school, so you'll be able to use these irrespective of platform. So once again, $1,000 in bonuses, 22 hours of recorded information. This will take you a while to chew through, but again, the problem here is that we're not going to offer this again in this bundle, in this package. Otherwise, you'll have to pay for these individually. So tonight we're offering this at $199. If you go to TheoTrade.com/grow, we'd be happy to welcome you on board. For those of you that have never seen the TheoTrade chat room before, I just want to bring this down so you guys can see what we're all about. Here's the live trading room. This lights up for 7 hours a day when we're presenting. It's HD quality. Everything that we do is recorded. So in other words, you can go to the archives. Up here, you can see, my archives. Up here, you can see Jeff Bierman. You can see the archives of Don Kaufman, Slim Miller, right? So all of our coaching sessions that are out there, all of the classes that we do within, within what you're allowed to see, right? So all of these, just going out to the member chat room, this is where you're going to find all the information. And so, yeah, there we go. There's these are where the chats are right up here. So you can go back and chat with people. This is really part of the value of the package here, is that getting to meet other traders. One of the things that I find with most traders is that a lot of us are just individuals working from home or trading from home, and we just don't get a chance to meet other people. And so this is a great way for you to get that community as part of your trading. Okay, so what I will do at this point is again, you need to go to TheoTrade.com/grow. And I would like to thank you guys for your patience. We're right in on time here. So I'll take questions for about the next 5 minutes, and then I want you guys to go off and watch the women do the downhill skiing. So off we go here.